We have Michael Friedlander here in our studios here in Hong Kong. He's a former nuclear power plant engineer, and he's here to help us understand what the category is and what the repercussions are. Michael, thank you very much for being here. When we hear level 3 and serious incident, what exactly does that mean? How concerned should we be?
Well, the rating scale from a 0 to a 7, as you indicated, a 3 puts you pretty much in the middle, and the differentiation between a 3 and a 4. A 3 and a 4 differentiates between things that are going on within the property boundary, within the power plant itself, which are largely contained to issues going on in the plant. People outside the plant boundary really shouldn't necessarily worry about what's going on in the plant won't affect them. Once you go to a 4, what it means is what's going on in the plant could potentially expand beyond the plant boundary. So it's a very significant event, but it's limited to its effect inside the plant.
So the bright spot, if we can see a bright spot in this, is that it's contained at least to that area. But the issue is that, for the moment, the investigators don't know exactly where this leak is coming from. They think that it's from one of these storage tanks, but if they don't know where the leak is, how do they go about finding it, and how delicate a situation is this?
It's a very significant issue that you bring up, because the contamination is extremely high, and so all of this investigation as well as remediation is going to have to be done with remote, because it's just too highly radioactive for really people to get in there at a very close range and actually do the work. So it's going to use a lot of robotics, a lot of remote cameras.
Now, it's 2.5 years since this incident, so obviously they need to figure out how to contain this.
Yes.
And we've got this leak that we've been notified about today, and then we've also learned about some of that contaminated water, the radioactive water, seeping into the groundwater and then going into the ocean. I mean, this is something we've been reporting the past couple of days. For our international viewers, international consumers, how concerned should we be about seafood coming from Japan?
Well, it's certainly something that people should take into consideration. There is monitoring going on. The Japanese authorities and the World Health Organization do have programs in place to monitor it. But again, as you indicated earlier, we don't know the extent of the leakage that's going on. We don't know how closely it's being monitored, and we don't know how far out the effects have gone out into the ocean. It's certainly something that needs to be taken a very serious look at.
So at this point, it's still a big question mark about whether or not any of the marine animals or wildlife or seafood is affected.
Well, we know for a fact that there is, because there's been samples that have been taken that have demonstrated that some of the sea life has high levels of contamination, higher than what we would normally expect to see. The question is how far out has that gotten? Is it restricted to the plant boundaries, or has it actually gone out into the fishing areas?
Okay, Michael Friedlander, thank you very much for your expertise. We really appreciate it today.
My pleasure.